I will try my best to speak very loudly. Yeah, I will proceed now. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to all. I hope everyone is in good health. Thank you very much for joining us in the KPPIM International Webinar 2023 on Mathematical Sciences Session 3. Your presence is our happiness. My name is Athirah binti Ahmad Razi and I am the moderator for Session 3. Before we start, let's recite Surah Al-Fatihah. For your information, the KPPIM International Webinar 2023 on Mathematical Sciences is organized by the School of Mathematical Sciences, College of Computing, Informatics and Media, KPPIM, University Technology Mara, UITM. This hybrid webinar focuses on mathematics, statistics, and actual science. There are 30 sessions throughout the year 2023, and today is the third session. For each session, we will have two speakers from Uzbekistan, India, Indonesia, as well as, of course, speakers from UITM Malaysia. One of the purposes of having this webinar is to provide a platform for academicians, students, and researchers to share and promote their latest research and views in the fields of mathematics, statistics, and actual science with others. With the tagline hashtag boost our visibility. Without further ado, please let me introduce the first speaker for our third session, technologist Dr. Samsudin Wahab. Dr. Samsudin is a senior lecturer in the Faculty of Business and Management, University Technology Mara, Pulau Pinang, Malaysia. He obtained a Bachelor of Science in Agribusiness from University Putra Malaysia, as well as a Master of Business Admin and a PhD in Customer Service Management from University Utara Malaysia. Please welcome Dr. Samsudin to give a 30-minute talk on this topic entitled Mathematical Concept and Business Decision for Strategic Business Operations, and a 10-minute question and answer session. Give a big applause to our first speaker.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Anis Rodi, for inviting me to the session. Okay, I'm very grateful, I'm very happy when I was invited for this session to share how we combine this mathematical concept and statistical concept towards business operation. As we know, that mathematical tool is very important, and it is a symbol of it represents the calculation and how we have to calculate, especially the profit and loss. Because when we run the business operation, of course, the direction and our vision and mission is to increase the profit. So it is very important in understanding how to measure this profit, how to make a right calculation of profit, how to make a right judgment about the usage of our material, how to make a good judgment on the usage of our asset, how to make a good judgment on how to measure the productivity. Of course, when measuring productivity, we have to take into account all the expenses. So, of course, I found that mathematical concept and theory can really applicable for this business operation monitor. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, okay, as introduction. Okay, in many ways, the mathematical application, we call it a very special name, and we name it business. We name it business. Why business tool? It is a tool for us, for those entrepreneurs, tool for the business manager, tool for the managing director to measure the performance, because in the day life of a business, there is a cycle. There's a cycle whereby in any business we have normally 5 years life cycle. Okay, so in this 5 years life cycle, towards the end of the 5 years, there is many event, there's many activities, there are many business activities that we have to take into account and that we have to measure. So we refer to the concept of quality. The according to them, inequality is the process of improving. So in our destination for the 5 years business life cycle, there is element of monitoring. Okay, because monitoring is the way is that it is that we try to make sure what we produce, what our operation what is pay for the cost of in the logic, in the I call it, is profitable. At every stage, at every single activities, there is a item of measure. So the mathematic application is the way how we measure. Okay. So why we have to measure? Because you have to make a decision at every angle of the process. You can imagine if you are in the very big plant, in a very big factory, manufacturing, of course there are a movement of the material, movement of the people. See, when there is a movement, there is a process 1, 2, 3, 4, and until the end of the process. So every process involves involve everything. So every workstation we have to calculate. If we fail to calculate every workstation, and only we calculating all the workstation at the end of the 5 years time, of course, we cannot make any decision to improve our process, to improve our operation. Okay, so we cannot delay the process of measurement, the process of deciding the progress of our activities, okay, in whatever management, in whatever perspective of marketing, financial control, material control, all is related to the measurement. Okay, so it is the role of managers. So nowadays, the managers not only they have to understand the theory of human relation, theory of behavior, but they also must have the mind of calculation, the mind of mathematical. You must have more mathematics in the life. Okay, when without this mathematical element in their thinking, so how come they prove and they declare that they are very success? The success thing must come from the calculation. The success thing must come from the numbers. See the farmers have very big debate. But this when you ask this farmers how many goodies of your paddy, so these farmers cannot answer. These farmers fail because in the mind of farmers they don't have the numbers. Okay, so the numbers come from the process, from the statistical process, or from the mathematical process. Okay. So every company we have a mission and vision. Okay. In this mission and vision and direction, the most important part to observe is the achievement. Is the achievement. In other way, we can call it dollars and cents. If we are make very good product, we have very good expert and manpower. We have very good and expensive machine, but at the end we fail to achieve the certain targeted profit. It is not. It is not. Yeah. Because everything is money. Even we conduct this conference webinar, this is money. Every second of our time is money. Okay. So why? Why? Because nowadays we have many environmental factors that impact our business. So we have the situation we call it market turbulence. We have the situation we call it economic turbulence. So this turbulence means the scenario whereby there is uncertainty, or Malaysia unsangka. So this thing happen without our expectation, without our expectation. So due to this unexpectation matters, of course it is very serious for us to take care of every movement and every judgment for every process in the long way for to achieve our 5 years business operation. Thank you, Israel. Jadi I do online Facebook also, so I can see my Facebook friend, so I can communicate with them. Okay, sorry, I saw the should be no problem. Thank you very much, Sajid. So you can see the importance of mathematical information. Okay, so we have many like linear mapping, Bayesian metric. We have system of linear algebraic equation, and the aim for solution. We have a graphical solution method. We have differential calculus, a real value function. net value, present value. So all this is very important for the managers to make decision. But nowadays in the organization, especially the manufacturing, we don't have any department related to the mathematics and business planning. From my experience last time, maybe last 10 years when I work in the factory, there are no mathematics and business specialization that can evaluate the performance of organization. But nowadays, maybe there is a vacancy for mathematician to be part of this production or manufacturing company. So it was recommended mathematician not only die there on the mathematical calculation, but they have to enhance this mathematical calculation to industry. They can apply this calculation meaningful way to support this business organization, business strategy operation. Because nowadays, the most important unit to be launching is business unit or operation strategic planning. This strategic planning unit get the idea not only from the theory. If they only depend on the theoretical in order to come up with the judgment and the proposal, is not right. Because the important is the numbers. So the numbers come from where? From the calculation. The calculation come from where? From the mathematician. So I had most of my friends from mathematical discipline is when they further study in the PhD and master level, and they cannot see there is a demand of this mathematical theory in any program and any event that can be a profitable event, non-profit event, or profitable event, or society event, which is at the end give a good value to the society. Okay, next. Okay, actually, we have a very simple objective. Because this is the idea from my own opinion. So actually, I'm teaching general fundamental of machine subject. And from this level, to my 25 years experience in academic, so and also being the director for impact of Malay thought and leadership, I found that there is still lacking among the students of how to calculate, how to judge our activities. Okay, that's why you can see now in the business in Malaysia, not many Malay entrepreneurs success in the business. Maybe because of this lacking in the awareness. Okay, so I distribute the questionnaire here in few days time and ask the student about the tool, the mathematical tool that they are familiar with. That they are familiar with. But it is look like unfair because this questionnaire was distributed after field week after the COVID last time. So maybe they have some idea of the importance of this SWOT analysis, for example. So in this situation, maybe they are not the data is not very valid, but at least from this engineering student, I have two group of respondent. One is from hotel management, and one group around 70 students from from engineering. Okay, so I found that this engineering they learn many calculation and they can relate the syllabus to a mathematical concept. Okay, that's why they can give very good answer and give very good response to my question. Okay. And at the end also, I will discuss how to what business tool can how this business tool can contribute to the company strategic operation. Okay. Next. Okay. The most popular mathematical tool that in applied already implemented in the business is a SWOT diagram. But in the class, in our syllabus, maybe master degrees level or the post degree level, it is not too heavy, it's not too deep until it can combine the numbers when you present this analysis. So there is another process, we call it is on the spot, go to the task analysis. Then when come to the task analysis, then only we add the numbers. based on our judgment to the factors. Okay, because when the entrepreneur want to start the business, they have to study. Whether they are entrepreneur or they are businessmen, they are the international investor from America or international investor from India, Casablanca. Yeah, they have to study. They have to study. They have to study the content and the situation, the environmental situation. Why they start with environment? Because the environment later on will become a very important subject that can reflect our internal factors of our organization. So we start with the external factors. How this SWOT analysis can help company. Okay. S for strength, A for weaknesses, O for opportunities, and D for threat. Okay. In this very basic theory of SWOT analysis, say that at least the manager have to think how the strength can overcome the weaknesses. Or at least the manager must define and must understand how this opportunity can overcome the threat. Thank you, Kak Mazlan. Follow me. See how. See how. That is only the very basic. And, but at the same time, if we go very deep in this analysis, we have to give the numbers. We not only give the theories based on what. We have to give a judgment based on the numbers. They say it is about the any MOU. We have to sign MOU with any company from Europe, any company from America. These numbers of MOU can become the numbers when we try to analyze the situation. We must create the numbers. We not only give an assumption, but this assumption is a very good thing. Then the numbers of course come from mathematics. Because at the end we have to add and minus. We have to plus and minus. So when we plus and minus, of course there's a mathematics. So the mathematics people should be proud of this. Yeah, from my experience dealing with a mathematics teacher, I found that most of the mathematics teachers are very good. When I was report my duties as a teacher, they asked me to teach English. I know to teach mathematics. So I explained about these two garis lari. So I have to, when I was teaching in a parliament district, the student always sleep at that time because they are not very interested. So what the mathematician people have done to is have to make use of this theory and try to link this theory and concept towards other areas, especially business, because I'm making money. Okay. So next. Sorry, okay. Okay, this is the summaries of SWOT analysis. As in the very basic theory, we try to come up with the scale for strength, the scale for weaknesses, and the scale for threat, and the scale for opportunities. So good, then you make a judgment. If there is a positive, whereby the strength can overcome the weaknesses, or maybe the opportunity can overcome the threat, so we can proceed with the project. We can proceed with it. But this is really need very hard working study. You have to consider all the theory, all the literature review in order to give numbers for these factors. Maybe we have 5 factors for S and 3 factors for W. Maybe we have S factor for 3 factors for S and 5 factors for W. But the numbers nothing. The important is the value for every score, the value for every dimension. Okay, if 3 have S got 3 score, and W have if 3S got 3 factors, our score is very low, but score is very high. If you compare to W, it's highest score, highest many factors, but the score is low. Of course, you can proceed because it shows that the strength is better than weaknesses. Similar to the opportunity. Your opportunity, they say we have a future plan. We want to develop a train from Singapore to Kelantan, for example. Want to develop a train from Kelantan to Kano. And then there is a future, you call it something environmental, positive environmental factor. That's something the planner can do something. The planner can come from mathematics, but they know how to give very good calculation. Okay, so let's say we have a small numbers of dimension for factor for opportunity, but at the same time contribute more value compared to the track. So we can proceed. Okay, so next is about solutions. So we have another decision making diagram. Okay, there is a business process mapping the step that the business takes to complete the process. Okay, let's say you want to bring a truck of crocodile, a truck of buffalo, say, from Perlis or Thailand, South Thailand to Johor Bahru. So we have many alternative way. We have many stop center, and we have the route 1, route 2, and route 3. So in deciding which route is better, which route is profitable, which route is most cheapest route. So there is also we have to use decision making diagram. Okay, we have to use decision making diagram. We have a calculation. Okay, we can design the tabular 1, tabular 2, tabular 3. So then we come up with a very good tabular. I don't know, last time my lecturer is from Palestine. So he just used tabular many times. So now maybe he did the right on the right. Table. Because of the slang from Arab, so we have tabular, so I also put tabular. Okay. So we have tabular 1, tabular 2. Okay, so we can choose the best one. How to choose the best one? Based on the cost. The cost we choose the lowest cost. Then we choose the lowest cost, and also we choose the best time, the most fastest route when we compare to all three. So this decision making program is very important, okay, especially in transportation. Why transportation? Important because transportation also part of the business. Part of the business. Okay, next. Okay, this is very small, sorry. I just make a quick reference from the book. Good. So actually, this is the diagram show how this works. But in detail, if you take any, maybe you take addition analysis. Those taken this addition analysis, they know more. Okay, there is a subject, a statistical subject for the MBA. Okay, but if those register master of science management, maybe they miss this subject. Yeah. Because there is different for the syllabus in MBA and MSc. Okay. So I have my friend from MSc management, they miss this subject because this subject is not in the list of the curriculum. Decision analysis. Okay, this subject is very good. Those new interested in mathematics, okay, you can choose this the best one, and you can become expert in that area then until PhD level. Or you can become very professor in what? Professor in statistics. Professor in what? Professor in statistical analysis. Professor in what? Professor in vision analysis. So we are very specific, and because we add more value to our studies. Okay, next. Okay, one more is strategy map. Actually, this we call it the cascade strategy. It's the decision making tool that provide a drag and drop interface to build a strategy. Remember why we have to drag and drop? Because we have limitation of material. We have limitation of resources. If we look to the economic theory, there is the resources always limited, but the want and needs never limited. There is unlimited in needs and want because customer is unique. Customer always change their mind. And in 24 hours we study, there is the behavior of customer. Customer sorry, I'm using so more. The customer always change their mind and always change their intention due to the satisfaction. And the satisfaction level also always changes. So this is very unique. So that's why this strategy map can help us, in order to choose which one to drive and which one. You see, we have material. Material A is important material. Material B is local material. So we have to make a study. Why we have to stop material A? We have to justify. Okay, this, at the end, this strategy map can teach you how to make very good justification. Then only we can protect and we can come up with very good idea for the business. The process in which you disseminate the organization overarching strategies throughout the organization and supporting strategies throughout the entire value chain. See, the important here is the value. Where the value come from? The value come from the situation where we can reduce the cost. Where the value come from? The value can come from using the time. Value can come also from the final calculation of our business operation. Is it profitable or we lost it? That make value for the businesses. Right, next. Wow, this is very small. So I'm very good enough, I can see. But I can see this is something like the internship, how you build up the strategy. So we can see the factors. Now this we have factors. So this at the end, we choose the best one. Which one we have to choose as the main factors to be considered. Of course, in statistical analysis, when the first run we run the data, we will delete all the outliers. We all will delete all the item and dimension which are, we call it munafik, because these factors might contribute to this two dimension. It is not really loyal to one dimension. And there is what we learn from this EFA, exploratory factor analysis. When we first run the EFA, you can see there are so many factors might fight each other when they are in one family. See, that's why we call it munafik. So they say the score is 0.45 and 0.47. It's very low here. But they are contradicting each other. They are fighting each other. So we have to delete any one of them. Because if we choose this item, it will become a poison for our organization. There is another way how to justify why we have to drop the factors that might sometimes disturb our process of business planning. Okay, so this is the figure how this system going to suggest and recommend us which better we have to follow. Because we have only one brain, we have only one vision. You cannot have two vision and vision at all at one time. So we have to be strict in terms of supporting and deciding our decision. Okay, right, next. All right, next is decision matrix. Okay, decision matrix is more on the technical also. The technical, it's like a matrix structure. So remember, a matrix structure equal to the line structure. In business, we have a structure, organization structure. Okay, the normal practice of structure is like one to one, okay, or one to many. Or if one to many, it equals to matrix because one person have to report to 2%. So of course, this person works under a burden because he or she must listen to the boss. But this scenario is about decision making. We also have a chunk, we have a branches, we have A and B, we have additive C and D. Okay. So this mind to convert your data into row and column. The table row as addition is the process similar to you are calculating the cost using the tabular. Okay. One of the best analysis tool which enable you to score each option from 0 to 1. They say 0 is good and 1 is good. Okay. So this decision matrix is tool to evaluate and select the best option when we have different choice and choose this decision matrix in order to identify which one. Okay. This tool is particularly useful if you are deciding between more than one option and there are several factors you need to consider in order to make your final decision. Okay, so next, this is the example of this one diagram. You can see you can drop one and you can expand one. Or you can increase one or you can drop. So we have to choose which portion is best. Okay, next. Time move very fast. Okay, Pareto analysis is very normal. Most of the students they are using this Pareto analysis. In the social sciences, okay, how to upgrade this social sciences? You can upgrade this social sciences by adding a mathematical tool See what is the difference between TPA research and PhD research? TPA research is better because TPA consider all the mathematical goal in order to apply what should we do after this analysis. And this SPSS only explain the relationship, but Pareto analysis more advanced. Pareto is come from mathematical analysis and calculation more advanced because it is more applicable. It is more applicable. It's not like social sciences because social sciences just explain about the relationship, but Pareto explain what to do next due to our so Pareto compared to the stop at PhD level because PhD is more focused on the theoretical and then we give adjustment based on it. But theory not always true. Yeah, right, Athirah. Okay, next. Okay, we have Pareto. This is the number of Pareto. So all the NDPA, this is better because they find the mathematical tool in the analysis. But they are more practical. They are more 80%. Next. Okay, next is the call it the cause and effect. This one everything. This one is like cause and effect, spark and activate. There's a theory also from Muslim religious. Okay. So cause effect call it Ishikawa diagram. This is very easy and normally we practice in our management. Because you want to choose, you want to define the problem. You have to define the best problem, the most important problem. Because in our organization, we have many problems. We have small problem and we have big problem. So in identifying the best, the most important problem, this diagram you can use. Because we'll check the effect. If the effect is we will lost $1,000, so we'll consider the effect of this. So if without considering the effect of this problem, how come you identify the best problem to be settled? Because in our everyday operation, we have many problems. And the good manager is the manager which can solve as many as problem as possible. As many problem as possible. So Ishikawa explained us how to choose the best problem to study and how to solve that problem. And there is the role of business or entrepreneur. The function of this entrepreneur is to solve the society problem. So it looks like problem is very important. So which problem to focus? Of course, you have to focus the most important problem based on the degree of effect that come from that problem. Problem A lost 10,000. Problem B lost 5,000. Problem C lost 3,000. So we choose the best one, choose the more lost problem because it affect our growth of our industry, affect our performance of our company. Okay. So to create cause and effect or Ishikawa diagram, we call it smart draw. The fishbone diagram, we call it fishbone also, defines many possible causes for an effect or problem can be used to structure a brainstorming session. Immediately sort ideas, use to still identify like when we analyze the data analysis when we collect data using qualitative data. And then we have to choose the data and we have to rearrange the data based on the data. This is the process and we try to identify which team is more contribute to the problem. After we define the team that more contribute to the problem, then we can solve, we can focus only on this team for the factors that contribute most of them. So this is what I have the business solution in planning and building operational strategic planning. Okay, next. Okay, this is the example of Ishikawa diagram. You can see the main problem is like the fish shape on the plant. And you see there are 1, 2, 3, 4 factors contribute. And which factors to focus on? You will focus on, sorry, I'm at friend on Facebook, cannot see the slide. Sorry. You just listen to the voice. You see, we have four reasons for the problem, four cause for the problem. Then we choose the best one. We solve the best problem, the best cause of problem. Then you can settle this. You can reduce the loss in our population. Okay, next. Because okay, force field analysis. Force field analysis. This force field analysis enables us to examine. Okay, this for project demand. boostourvisibility. Mostly they use for construction business management. They also can apply this cost bill analysis. Okay. It provides us a framework for looking the factor that influence a particular situation. This analysis helps you to understand the process of any organization in a better way. Okay, model that can be used in business to evaluate the visibility or propose leadership change. Maybe we want to adopt changes in our organization. You want to appoint our own staff to be a managers, or you want to hire this from outside. So there is another two alternative. Whereby we can use this cost analysis to defend and justify our assumption. Okay, next. Very small. Okay, no problem. We skip this one. Okay, next. Okay, break-even analysis. This is very important one. Okay, this is very important analysis. Whereby we try to calculate the cost. We calculate all the cost, including total fixed cost, variable cost, and at the same time we calculate our sales. The same one. Because when we start the business, they say within 1 to 3 years, of course, it's still still a problem. But because we have to expand many costs at the beginning of our business process. Year one cost increase, year two cost increase, year three cost increase. When it comes to the year four, no more increase in the cost. Why? Because we have everything. We have the machine, we have the facilities, and this time we start calculating our profit. So in this case, the basic equation says if the total sale is bigger than total cost, that is the we can get back our money. That's a break-even analysis. I mean, the total cost equal to the total sale. But if you can add up more sale, then you can make a profit. So that's why break-even analysis is very important. Whether we are selling online marketing or what, we have to calculate this. You want to sell a cake, small cake, whatever cake, so we have to calculate the cost. We have to measure everything, and we have to evaluate and try to deduct, try to take the sale, then minus the cost, then know what is our breaking point. Okay, let's say we have MBA class. In MBA class for semester one, we have 3 lecturers. 3 lecturers, you see, all lecturers we have to pay 8,000. So 8 times 3, 24,000. How much the student pay for the first semester? Let's say we have 10 students. 10 students, you have to pay 4,500. 4,500 times 10, we have 45,000, right? So this 45,000, we minus the salary for the lecturer, 24,000, we still have a profit. But how about our electricity? See? So in order to get the break-even point for our business MBA program in front campus, we must have at least 7 students. Then only we can get break-even. So we offer the cost in the better situation. We have the popular, the company popular, the master, and also the people know us. At the same time, we can get back our money. Okay. Okay. Next. Okay. This is the curve. You can see when the total cost crossing. When the total cost crossing the total sale, so that point we call what? Break. Titik pulang. Yeah. This is Ultraman. This Ultraman Taro. This Ultraman are you okay? They know this Ultraman Taro. So when the cost and the total sale and the cost are matching here, yeah. So we call what? We can get back our gap. Next. Business two. Okay, we have push metric. Push metric, yeah. Okay. This metric is diagram that used to evaluate the alternative solution, similar to the transportation case. Okay. We have group 1, group 3. We have similarity and based on our score. So the method now is based on how we define the score, how we interpret the activities based on the degree of score in our analysis. Like in the social science statistics and SPSS, we have beta value. Okay, is beta A, beta B. For beta and 5 beta. So which beta is more highest that contribute to the cost? So we can get the idea. At least the idea, then we can check the best and the better idea cost. Okay, all right, next. Okay, this is example of the. You can go more if we like. Okay, next. Is it yes, this is the last one. This one also very important. Okay, because from this ratio analysis, you are going to understand for every single dollars you pay to buy our material, how much we can get back. For every single, yeah, I have class, that's why my voice very loud. I have to hear it. So you see, every single cent we pay for the cost, how much we can get back. So we have to calculate. And very familiar to using ROI, return on investment. So this analysis can state how many dollars you can get back from any single ringgit we invest. Then we have return on inventory, ROA, ROI, ROI is return of asset, return of investment, return of very asset we have two. We have asset, the asset we have variable asset. So everything we can have. So we can use ratio. So this is very important to calculate. Our liquidity, how we can we pay the debt? We have to calculate. Okay, the efficiency of operation, efficient or not efficient, we can calculate. Okay, how many return from at least even one ringgit also we can calculate. So this ratio is very important in order to ensure our business operation run the smooth. We can achieve our vision, we can achieve our goal, we can achieve our direction. Okay, any more slide? I think this slide can go about this example of ratio analysis. Okay, next. Okay, next is for the statistics. And this is my respondent in my class. I'm teaching a student from civil engineering from hotel management. Okay, so I take fair numbers from this group. Okay, next is just to share the result of this. So this is demographic correspondent. We have about 41% from Athirah and 50% from science social hotel management. Okay. Okay, I will further this research for maybe I can come up with very good paper. I can contribute to this program to see how this mathematical knowledge and theory very support in business operation. Okay, next. Okay, I think this is okay from my simple review. I asked the student about how the awareness of this mathematical tool. You see, mostly they are aware, especially for the engineering student, because they are familiar with this Pareto Ishikawa. And because of civil engineering, they are more involved in project management, so they are already familiar with this. So we feel proud about the become student because they are aware, they use the mathematical mind language. Of course, if they finish the study, they can do something. Okay, next. Next, the last one is so as a conclusion, the integration of business and mathematics discipline provide a good solution for business operation. Now, every organization, even government organization, and even move toward business. Even university also have to find a new ways of making money. See, so now move organization whether private or government, they are move toward business. And strategic management focus on how to achieve a target. So it is very clear that we have to calculate profit. We have to calculate in our house also. We have to calculate our income, the income from our husband, income from our own income. We calculate because we have to come up with very good family, comfortable family lifestyle. In order to give very good situation for family people. Okay, there is a gap in the case study on important of the mathematical theory practice by business manager and the awareness level of business manager. How are they aware about this operation? Are they aware about this? I call it the analysis about the Ichikawa. Are they aware? Yeah. And the future initiative by business manager is to hire a new business executive that come from mathematical background. Okay. So with that, I end my presentation. So look like a robust and funding style. So yeah, speaking. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor, for sharing your interesting insight with us today. I also agree with you, Doctor. I found that mathematics is actually part of our life. It's like we have all this kind of problem that we need to solve. So, like, we should know how to actually calculate on how we should measure and log in. So now we will open our Q&A session. If anyone has any question regarding the topic that has been presented just now, please feel free to comment down below or just unmute yourself and ask the question. So here in my hand, I actually have some questions from the participants. So the first question is, Doctor, do you think most of the businessmen in Malaysia apply the decision-making tool to make decision-making?
Yes, from my observation in the last 10, 15 years, I was just graduate from my study and I joined a factory, few factory. I found they are lacking of the especially planning managers, supervisors, managers, they're lacking the knowledge of this technical knowledge. And most of them, maybe next time is in the year of 1990s, the industry just became efficient. The culture of competition is not very high. Just can be they're not really focused on technical discipline. But nowadays it's very changed because we have business data, we have people data, all this more towards mathematics. So now we can do some investigation. We can distribute the questionnaire to the department of mathematical practice. We can conduct a study, we can check. Especially when you send the student for practical training, you can ask them. Okay. For the really manufacturing industry, are they look that mathematical knowledge is important in this? From myself, I believe it's important because my degree last time is more on degree of science. That's why I learned mathematics. If I compare to others, I did not study. Sometimes bachelor in business management without science. You know? That's why important the science there. And there's a sign there, there is a symbol that there's a mathematics background. So mathematics is very important. So but we have to conduct research on it.
Okay, okay. So there's another question. So in your opinion, how do you want to create awareness for businessmen in Malaysia so that they know that there are tools to make decision making?
Yes, as our university role as responsibility is to be close with society, to be close with industry. We cannot just happy with our work at the office, come up with the research, and we don't want to see people. Okay. Now we have to go out and have linkages to many department, EPU, many economic rancangan unit, economy, to any government, any industry, NGO, to be friend with them, maintain to manage very good relationship with them. They only be on that we are pushing the student is a good statistical knowledge, good mathematics. So we have to involve in more engagement. We have to engage more many industry, of course, inshallah. So one day we can promote mathematics. Last time our prime minister promote us English. I heard mathematics is more important because mathematics is about what we want to eat. We want to eat the food also. We want two kurma in our plate, two kurma and rice, and then one layer of vegetable sawi. Then we calculate what we eat. After we come back, every day we also have 5 days of time to pray. So all these numbers is very important in our life. So when the people aware about the importance of numbers, life is numbers. There's another new tagline. But that doesn't mean that always small. Mean also 1 + 4 is equal to 1 minus 1. Mean 4 branch. So numbers is important. Numbers is our life. So just make it a tagline for everything of mathematics or whatever. So you put the tagline and numbers is life. No, this is not you can my mind, yeah. Okay, numbers. So there's a tagline that you have bring all the industry, bring all the students, bring every people, business, non-business, electronic must focus on the numbers. They are playing numbers so many times. That's why they are success. Okay. All right.
Thank you. I think that we have someone who like to speak.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
yes, if anyone has any question, any more question, please do speak out already.
Or you can send let your question in my Facebook, Samsudin Wahab. Okay, there's my Facebook there. Okay. This question there you can discuss. because this kind of good thing is very good, especially at the end of this Ramadan. Okay, because we have vision 10 in numbers. They browse the rate and 80% of the conference. We are just make money in this. Okay, if one more, I think
Yeah, okay. I think that's all the books today. Thank you
okay.
very much for sharing.
Okay.
So, okay. Moving
So I
on to
can,
our next.
so I can let the screen one.
I don't know. Yeah, yeah, so thank you.
Okay, alright, bye. Thank you very much.
So moving on to our next speaker, which is Dr. Nurmarni Athirah Abdul Wahid, also known as Dr. Marni. Dr. Marni is a senior lecturer at University Technology Mara di Sabah. She obtained the Bachelor of Science in Statistics from UITM and managed to finish her Master Studies in Statistics from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. Additionally, she obtained her PhD in Mathematics from University Technology Malaysia. Her PhD research specialized in the area of applied statistics and was supervised by associates for Dr. Sharifah Suhaila Sheikh Samaluddin and Dr. Haliza Abdul Rahman. Her research interests are in climate change and infectious diseases. Please contact Dr. Marni via her email for further collaboration, especially on climate change and infectious diseases. Please welcome Dr. Marni, who will take a 30-minute talk on her presentation entitled Impact of Climate Factors on the Incidence of Plant, Food and Health Disease in Malaysia, the Generalized, Additive, Mixed Model, and 10 minutes for a Q&A session. Give a big applause to our second speaker. Let's move on now. Sorry, the slides are new.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Anis. Okay. Alright. Can I start now? Sorry, Assalamualaikum everyone and good evening. So first of all, thank you, Miss Anis, for the holiday. I'm Nurmarni Abdul Wahid from KPPIM UITM, Sawangan Pahang Campus Jember. I'm here today to present my research entitled The Effect of Climate Factors on Hand, Foot and Mouth Disease in Malaysia using a generalized additive mixed model. So my research team is my previous supervisor, which is the PM, Dr. Sharifah Suhaila Sheikh Jamaluddin and Dr. Haliza Abdul Rahman from UPM. So I will start my presentation with the background of the study, followed by the research gap, objective of the study, methodology part, and result, and the last part will be the conclusion part as well. So I will start first with the introduction part. So I guess all of you know that what is HFMD, right? So HFMD, known as hand, foot, and mouth disease, that was first introduced clinically by Sweden in early 1957 in New Zealand. And he then reported in classes to the New Zealand College of General Practitioners in April 1957. In late June to July 1957, 60 confirmed cases of HFMD with an pathological agent of Coxsackie virus, which is the A16 virus, had been purified in Toronto, Canada. And then the other type of HFMD virus, called as enterovirus 71, EV71, was then isolated in California in 1969. So these two viruses are the most significant serotype implicated as HFMD positive agent. And these two viruses can be transmitted by direct contact with an infected person's saliva, urine, vascular fluid, respiratory droplets, or indirectly by dental object. And there are several symptoms of this infectious disease. The first one is rashes, and the second one, fever, sore throat, loss of appetite, and vomiting. Right? So we go to the HPV outbreak. This outbreak was started first in New Zealand and Canada, which is in year 1957, followed by in Birmingham, California, Japan, Bulgaria, Taiwan, Australia, and then in Malaysia in 1997, followed by the other countries until now. But in Malaysia, this disease was first detected in Sarawak in April 1997 and then spread in Peninsular Malaysia in June 1997. So I hope that someone and all of you get something in the introduction part. At least you know where the HIV started first in Malaysia, right? So why I continue, why I proceed with this research title, the first big why is the recent study in various countries conclude that there is association between HIV and climate factors that includes temperature, humidity, rainfall, and wind speed. So for temperature, for example here, there is several studies conclude that the HIV incidence significantly associated with temperature, but there are several studies in China found that the incidence of HIV was not significantly affected by temperature. For humidity, there is study in Japan, China, South Korea, Vietnam found that a significant relationship between humidity and HIV gases. However, other studies found that there is no significant relationship between humidity and HIV. Next, for rainfall, there is a significant link between rainfall and HIV has been established in Hong Kong, Singapore, Shanghai, Vietnam, and China. But a study from Japan and China found that there is no evidence on the link between rainfall and HIV gases. And the last climate factors is wind speed. Several studies see that HIV was significantly correlated with wind speed in Hong Kong, China, and Singapore, but other studies in Southeast and East Asia found that there is no significant relationship between wind speed and HIV. So what I found here from the previous study is the finding for related to this study related for this study is still inconsistent. So as you can see here, just now I said all of the findings is difference between each country. So I think that there is a need research related to this topic in Malaysian cases. The next, the table shows the significant climate variables on HIV from the previous study. As you can see here, temperature, humidity, and wind speed shows the most dominant climate factors that affect HIV. And there's also another significant additional variable, for example, age, child population density, geographical location, humidex. So humidex is actually the combination of the temperature and humidity, certain oscillation index, SI, IDU index that are normally used by the China researcher, and socio-economy. So the second point here, because of the behavior of HIV data is set up. Okay, so why? Because the data structure, the pattern of the incidence, the influence factors of HIV data are different between each country. This is maybe due to the differences in climate condition, monsoon season, geographical location. So that is why we need to check our behavior of data before we proceed with the modeling process as well. So the third point here, because of there's still limited number of studies that document the link between climate and incidence of HIV in Malaysia. So what I found is the concept of generalized modeling in the impact of climate change on HIV is still new in Malaysia, because of the previous study only focused on the method of time series analysis. As we can see here, for example, the study by Sharp et al., they use ARMA model, in which ARMA model has some weaknesses. It is restricted to a linear model that works on stationary time series and demand that the sample come from a normal distribution, while Nadia et al. Use a cross-sectional time series analysis. And this method is unable to analyze the behavior over a period of time and does not help to determine the cause and effect of variable. So I think that there's need to proceed with this research using a generalized modeling technique. And the last point is statistical method used by the previous study. So I found that there's a lot of statistical method used by the previous study. One of it is the correlation analysis, whether the researcher used the spearman or the Pearson correlation. But this method also has some weaknesses in which, first, it is unable to capture complex relationship between variables such as the nonlinearity, and it is incapable of conclusive establishing a causal link between climate variables and HFP. And next, the generalized linear model, or known as GLM method. There is also previous research used this method, whether they use the GLM negative binomial or they use GLM Poisson. But this method have some weaknesses also. The first weaknesses is it is limited to capturing the non-linear relationship between variables. What variables? Climate patterns and GPMD lah, of course. And it's required the response variable to be independent. And the other method that are continuously used by the researcher is generalized additive model. So what is the differences between GLM and GAM? So later I will talk. So for GAM, there are also weaknesses, some weaknesses. The first one is it's constrained by the requirement that the response variable must be independent, same as GLM just now, and it is inapplicable when dealing with time series data as it assumes that the data is independent. So here, from based on this figure, we can see that the similarity and differences between GLM and GAM. As we can see here, GLM able to capture complex linear relationship between variables, and GAM able to fit complex non-linearity, and it's relaxed the assumption of GLM just now. And it's have a same similarity. The first one is the set more complex data structure, and the second part is the response variable must be independent. So this is the what we call it as the problem in our analysis, because of this research is related to HFMD series data, in which HFMD series data often occur the autocorrelated series. This means that the data is dependent. So these two methods are unable to be used in this study. That's why we come out with the proposed method by using the generalized additive mixed model with auto-recursive term. And this method can overcome the autocorrelation with observation and allow a more flexible functional dependence of the response variable on the covariance by adding the auto-recursive term and random effect to the linear predictor. So there are several objectives of this study. The first part is the first objective is to examine the behavior of HFMD series in Malaysia by providing a complete profile pattern. Second is to develop the generalized additive mixed model (GAM) framework based on negative binomial by aiding auto-recursive term and random effect to address the auto-correlated series problem in HFMD series and concurrently overcome the issue of over-dispersion. So basically, I overcome the issue of over-dispersion by using the negative binomial. So number 3, to determine the most dominant climate variable that has the greatest impact on HFMD based on estimated parameter. And the last objective for this study is to identify the best model for describing association between climate patterns and HFMD incidence in Malaysia using a cross-validation approach. So basically, my study includes all states in Malaysia, 14 states in Malaysia. So where I get the data, HFMD cases bi-weekly, and So for HFMD, I obtain it from MOH, and climate data, I obtain it from Malaysia Meteorological Department. So this is figure shows the analysis flow for the modeling approach. I start first with the multi-collinearity between variables. What variable? Climate variables. If there is a multi-collinearity exists, then I will remove the variables from the model. If there is no multi-collinearity, then I will proceed with the modeling part using 4 different models: CLM, GAM, with and then without algorithm system with family Poisson. And then we proceed with over dispersion test. If over disperse occur, then we will proceed using the negative binomial. If there is no over disperse in the data set, then we proceed with the covariate selection by using the stepwise covariate selection method. And then after we get the model, we compare the model evaluation, comparing the model by using the RMS and MAP value, and then model diagnostic and cross validation. I use the rolling basis cross validation, and then the best selected model can be found. So for data taking, multi-quality test, I use 3 values. The first value is a variance infection factor, VIF, CVIF, and tolerance. If the VIF is greater than 5, CVIF greater or equal to 10, and tolerance close to 0, this means that the multi-quality exists in the data set. And for over dispersion, I use the test that was implemented by Cameron and Kennedy in 1990. So if the p value is less than alpha 0.05, then this means that the data are over dispersed. For the autocorrelation test, I use a L-Jump test that was implemented by L-Jump and Box in 1978. And if the p-value is less than 0.05, then the data exists, the autocorrelation. So next, we move to the covariate selection method, how I choose what climate factors that should be in the model. So I use the stepwise covariate selection method. The first step is develop a single model for each climate factors, and the lowest value of PIC indicates the best single predictor, and then followed by develop a 2 predictor model by including the best climate factors identified in the preceding step as the first predictor, followed by the second predictor. And the lowest AIC value indicates the best second predictor. And this process will continue until adding another predictor does not yield smallest value of PIC. And the selected predictors can be found in the model with the lowest value of PIC. So basically, in this study, I have 4 models. The first model is GLM, GAM, GAMM with and without autoreader system respectively. So I will explain more one by one the model approach that I use. So for the GLM, there are several assumptions need to be satisfied. The first assumption is the distribution of the response variable are independent and belong to an exponential family. Second, normal distribution of residual, linear relationship between the transform response and the explanatory variables in terms of the link function. So the equation on the right shows the general form of GLM. So for GLM, there are 3 assumptions need to be satisfied. For GAM, only the distribution of the response variable are independent and belongs to an exponential family, and normal distribution of residual. For generalized additive mixed model, GAMM, with and without autoregressive system, there are 3 ways to make the GAMM models more complex and flexible according to Ling and Zhang. The first way is to include the random effect. Second is to accept the response that do not conform to the normal distribution. And the last is admit the smooth condition. So the general form is shown here. So what is differences between these two in the model? So we can see there is a part of character of an independent component and character for the autoregressive component counting for serially correlated errors. So we can see the differences between all models. So from GLM to GAM, so what is the differences between these two? We add the smooth function here, and for GAMM without autoregressive term, we add the random effect. For the GAMM with autoregressive term, we divide the parts into two parts. The first part is the fixed effect, and the second part is the random effect with autoregressive term. So basically, the random effect with autoregressive term is our autoregressive random effect intercept time state. So for the criteria of selecting the best model, I use two values. The first value is RMSE value and MAE value. So I comparing the model using these two values. And for the model validation, I use a rolling basis cross validation approach that was implemented by the Inman 2014. And this method is suitable or appropriate to be used when we dealing with the time series data and dependent observation. So how are we gonna use this method? So first we need to split the data according to year. For example, for my study, I use data from 2010 to 2016. So I split the data according to each year. And then we have the train data and we have the test data. For example, first step, I use 2010 as the train data, and we test it to 2011 data, and we get the RMSE value. And this process is repeated until the last of our data, 2016, and we calculate the average of RMSE for each model. So then we know which model is the most suitable to be used in order to determine the association between climate factors and HMMD gases in Malaysia. So for the result, I split into two parts. The first part is profiling pattern of HMMD, and the second part is the modeling part. So we go to the first part. So the first figure shows the percentage of HMMD gases from 2010 to 2016. So we can see that the lowest percentage are in 2011 with 3.4%, and the highest in 2016 with 22.5%. And from this figure, we know that the HMMD gases in Malaysia follow the 3-year cycle, right? And for the second figure, we can see that the percentage of HMMD gases by state. So Sarawak State shows the highest percentage with 30.6% compared to the other state, and Wilayah Persekutuan Labuan shows 0.6%, only 0.6%. So in my point of view, so I think that this must be might be related to the population density for each state in Malaysia. Next is the monthly pattern of HMMD cases in Malaysia. So we can see that on January 2011 shows the lowest cases with 153, and the highest is on September 2016 with 8520 cases. So for percentage of HMMD cases based on gender, we can see that male has higher percentage compared to female with 55.9, and for percentage of HMMD cases based on age, we can see that the child category, which is 0 to 4 years old, most dominant to be impacted by the HMMD cases. However, we also have the small percentage of the adolescent category. So now, from this figure, temperature and HFMD gases, humidity, and HFMD gases, rainfall, and wind speed, we can see the association between HFMD and climate factors. So for the first figure, temperature, we can see that the pattern of HFMD and the climate factors of temperature has the same pattern, but different with humidity and rainfall and wind speed. For humidity, we can see that the HFMD gases, the dotted line here, peak earlier than the peak of humidity, and same goes to rainfall. Rainfall, HFMD gases peak earlier than the peak of rainfall, but different with wind speed. Wind speed peak earlier than the peak of HFMD gases. So I think that from this figure, what can I conclude that maybe there is a association between HFMD and climate factors with the lag time of climate factors. This means that there is a lag time of climate factors that may cause the HFMD gases simulation. So what I do next is I use the Spearman rank correlation analysis to know the suitable or the appropriate lag time of climate factors to be used in my study. So based on this value, so I found that the 2 weeks lag time of climate factors is appropriate to be used. And another study found that the HFMD event are better clarified when climate variables are used within 2-week lag period. So that's why I decided to use 2 weeks lag time of all climate factors. Now we move to the result for the modeling part. First, we do the multi-quality checking, over-distribution test, and independence checking. So for multi-quality checking, the value of VIF show that less than 5, tolerance more than 0, CVIF less than 10. This means that the multicollinearity does not exist in the data set. So for the over-distribution test, the p-value is less than 0.05. This means that the data is over-dispersed, so that I need to proceed the modeling part using the negative binomial. For the independence checking, the three model without auto-regressive term, of course GLM, GAM, and GAMM without auto-regressive term, show the p-value is 0. This means that the data AC is auto-correlated series. Next, we move to the covariate selection. So for the covariate selection, just now I mentioned I use the stepwise covariate selection method. So for GLM, only rainfall and temperature will be included in the model because it shows the smallest value of the IC. And for GAM, I use all variable, and for the GAMM, only wind speed, humidity, and rainfall will be included in the model. So here I come up with the result from the analysis. So from based on this 4 model, we can see from the RMC and FAT value, the model that we proposed, which is the GAMM negative binomial with auto-regressive term, shows the lowest value of RMSE and MAE compared to the other model. So how we want to know this model is the best model? I proceed with the cross validation part by using a rolling basis cross validation approach just now. And the result shows that the GAMM negative binomial with auto-regressive term, the value of RMSE is smaller than the other one. So therefore, we can conclude that the GAMM negative binomial with auto-regressive term is the best model in order to describe the association between climate factors in Malaysia. So below shows the final model for our proposed model, and the figure shows the smooth association between HFMD and climate factors in Malaysia. So basically, there are only 2 significant factors. The first one is rainfall, and the second one is wind speed. So from the rainfall figure, the first figure here, we can see that the risk of HFMD cases will increase if the rainfall is below 66 and decrease if rainfall is above exceed 60 mm. For wind speed, the risk of HFMD will increase with wind speed 3.5 meter per second. So what can I conclude that is from this figure, maybe this may be related to the human behavior. For example, rainfall here, we know that the rainfall, the risk of HFMD will increase during when rainfall is less than 60, right? So maybe it's related to human behavior such as people is more comfortable to stay indoor or instead of outdoor during the rainy season, right? So this will minimize the risk, the spread of this disease, and as well as the risk of HPV cases. So I think that's maybe related to human behavior. So for the conclusion part, the first part, what I can conclude from this study is first highest percentage of HPV cases was recorded in 2016, while the lowest percentage was observed in 2011. And Sarawak state indicates that the percentage of HPV cases in Malaysia and HPV occurrences in Malaysia exhibit a seasonal pattern and followed 3-year cycle. And the graphical analysis in each state of Malaysia show that the climate factors have a delayed temporal effect on HPV occurrences. And the second point, what I got from this study is the model, the GAMM negative binomial with auto-reader system are the considerable flexibility for describing the association between climate factors and HPV cases in Malaysia. It allows states to be modeled as random effect and accounting for time series and data series correlation. And number 3, we found that the rainfall and wind speed are the most significant climate variable affecting Malaysia HPV incidence. The HPV will increase, the risk of HPV will increase in the subsequent 2 weeks with rainfall below 60 and wind speed exceed 3.5 and decrease when rainfall is more than 60 and wind speed less than 3.5. So I think that's all from me. I hope you did. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with us. I learned something new from your presentation. All these years, I think that the rainy season is actually the only reason that why we had this HFMD issues. So thank you. So we will now begin the Q&A session regarding the topic that has been presented by Dr. Marni. So if you have any questions about it, feel free to comment below or speak out directly. Now I saw someone commented in the comment, so I will read it out loud. The question is, I can see that there is not much difference based on the cross validation approach of the RMSE value for without and with auto dressing curve. So how can you explain it?
So by using this cross-validation approach that stated by Hinman, so I at least got the differences value between the RMSE between these two models. So at least they got the differences. So I didn't try another method. So maybe after this I can try another method for the cross-validation to validate this model.
Next question, Doctor. Do you think your model is in the study can be applied to other infectious disease like malaria, HIV, influenza? What do you think of it?
For now, I'm still focusing on infectious disease. I think it can be used if it is related. It has a related with climate change. But for now, I'm still ongoing with this study. But different infectious disease, which is COVID-19 disease in Malaysia with climate factors. so much, Doctor.
Doktor?
Alright, thank you.
Doktor?
Another question.
Ya, Doktor, saya Tio daripada Perlis.
Ya.
So, saya ingin tanya, untuk yang data for this one HFND kan, so kita tahu that dia punya data ni ada kat DOSM.
Ya.
So, bila kita buat research pasal data ni, adakah kita perlu minta etik komiti punya kelulusan?
Oh, untuk saya punya research yang lepas research yang COVID-19 ni, saya tidak dapatkan data daripada dosen. Saya tak ambil data dari dosen, saya dapatkan dari data mampu. Kalau kamu research di data mampu, H20 cases nanti akan keluar lah. So saya ambil dari situ yang mana data tersebut adalah datangnya dari MOH.
So jika dia adalah open source punya data, kita tak perlu kelulusan daripada etik lah.
Setakat ni memang tidak perlu lah. Tapi kalau untuk macam data climate tu, data tu saya perlu lah. So tentang mana saya bagi tahu lah.
So dari sini yang saya tengok, yang Dr. propose dia model adalah untuk mengkaji the effect of climate change to the HFND, right?
Ya, betul.
Dia bukan untuk model that HFND cases lah.
Bukan. Setakat ni belum lagi untuk buat prediction. Saya tak tahu lagi.
So jika untuk setiap kali kita propose the model, we need to check for the let's say convergent test ataupun stability test.
Ya, ada. Jadi ada tu saya tak letaklah dalam slide ni. So kalau nak tahu lebih lagi boleh direct email saya maybe sebab saya ada buat.
Cuma yang tu yang katakan jika dalam tu perasan you buat do it by weekly. Why weekly not by weekly or let's say daily?
So because of the data itself, kita susah kan nak dapatkan data. So data HFND yang saya ada adalah dalam weekly, data mampu tu dalam weekly. So that's ada kalau data climate dia ada dalam daily. Ada dalam daily. So saya kena transform lah data tu di weekly. So barulah synchronize, right?
Dia tak ada macam kita bagi tahu I choose the weekly sebab HFND ni 7 days to recover ataupun apa semua tu lah. Dia tak ada.
Sebab kalau kita tengok previous research pun dia tak ada cakap pun, tapi most of the previous research memang guna weekly.
Satu lagi adalah yang untuk yang GAMM ni, yang method ni dia memang existing ke ataupun proposed by doktor sendiri?
Actually, this method is proposed, tapi dia pernah digunakan, tapi dia bukan guna kita nak buat over dispersion, kita guna negative binomial kan. Tapi the proposed one is dia guna bukan negative binomial, dia ada one. I dah lupa. Ada lagi. Kalau ada over disperse, kita guna negative binomial ataupun ada lagi satu tu. Dia guna lagi satu tu. So saya buat negative binomial.
Dan yang negative binomial is added into the model.
Yes, because of the data shows over disperse.
And this makes your proposed model different from the others lah.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any question from participant? May I know if we still have HFMD cases in Malaysia after 2016? Yes, exactly. We still have it? Yes, exactly. Even masa COVID-19 pun HFMD cases pun menaik juga. COVID-19 naik meningkat, HFMD pun meningkat juga. Cuma kita kekurangan data, susah nak dapatkan data. So that's why saya punya research sampai 2016 itu sahaja yang ada di data mampu. So selebihnya it takes time kan kalau kita nak apply data.
Satu lagi doktor.
Ya.
Adakah model doktor consider under-report cases?
Maksudnya apa tu?
Macam contohnya ada certain model dia akan consider di mana
cases yang dia kata okey, kita dapat data tempat, tak semestinya semua yang kena HFLD dia akan report, especially for those yang adults. Kan dia kata dia begitu serius, so dia tak akan pergi jumpa doktor, then that kind of case is not recorded. So is that our model ataupun Dr. Bill model consider that type of macam underreportnya cases?
Underreport. Because itulah dia punya kita panggil disadvantages of the secondary data, right? Kita tak tahu sama ada dia underreport or reported less.
So dalam model tu kita tak adalah yang macam katakan kita ada satu attributes yang kita consider under reports punya percentage contohnya.
Belum ada. So maybe lepas ni bolehlah take into consideration into that model.
Satu lagi tengok yang jika sebab doktor ada sebut pasal yang density yang menyebabkan cases tinggi.
Yes.
Why not
dimasukkan dalam model? Yeah.
Atau mencari correlation between the school holidays ke?
Ya, betul, exactly. Tapi itulah data tu. So itulah researchnya kalau kita nak buat ni kan analisis kan. So, sekarang ni saya buat COVID, tapi alhamdulillah COVID adalah datanya. Tapi data climate saya kena discuss dengan
Contohnya kat sini kan doktor ada tulis kat sini dia finding contradict between temperature, humidity, rainfall and wind speed kan.
Ya.
So apakah model yang daripada doktor yang boleh fill in this gap? So at the end doctor your model can say that which one is correct in between the contradictory benar ni.
So for now saya tak boleh nak cakap tapi variable yang mana is most dominant untuk satu dunia, tak boleh cakap sebab benda tu contradict di setiap country dia berbeza. That's why we need that research in Malaysia. That's why I did the research and I found that the rainfall and wind speed are the most dominant climate factors that affect the Is there any question?
I think that's all, Dr. Right. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge with
Thank you
us.
everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you KPPIM.
So okay, now we're gonna moving on to our photo session. I sincerely hope that everyone will turn on their camera for this. And for Dr. Marty, I need you to stop sharing your screen because we have So I'm hoping that everyone is now ready. So 1, 2, 3, smile. Next one, smile. Okay, alright. This is the end of our third session. We hope that the participants gain some interesting knowledge from this webinar. And please feel free to contact both speakers via their email for further collaboration. I will share the I will now share the attendance. Sorry, technical issue. Okay. So please fill in the attended for to get your e-certificate and for training purpose for your RTF form. For your information, shown here is the official page for our expertise. For your information, shown here is the official page for our research domain in the Department of Mathematics. You can visit this page to search for expertise in the field of mathematics. We appreciate your attendance and the contribution for our speakers. Your presence makes us really happy. And this session can also be watched again through our YouTube channel, and the fourth session will take place on May 26. Lastly, to all my Muslim friends, I would like to wish you a happy fasting and may you have a happy iftar. We hope to see you again. Assalamualaikum. Bye.